Welcome back to my story, Protector. I hope you've been enjoying chapters 1 through 4. Now for chapter 5, Saved.
Stories from my nightmares. Close your eyes.
Something pressed softly against Flower's cheek. The touch lingered, steady and deliberate. It was cold, very cold, and had a little weight to it. Her hand twitched. Carefully, she lifted. Her fingers brushed something cold, smooth, solid. Her breath caught. She closed her hand around it. Her phone. A sob tore out of her chest as she pulled it close, clutching it against her heart. Tears streamed down her face, soaking into the bark beneath her head. Relief crashed over her in dizzying waves, so powerful it almost hurt. It hadn't fallen. It hadn't been lost. It had been placed. Her hands shook violently as she pressed the power button. Light bloomed in the darkness. She laughed, a cracked, breathless sound, as the screen flickered to life. 10% battery remaining. 10% was a miracle. She didn't hesitate. She scrolled to her father's name and pressed call. The phone rang. Once. Twice. Her teeth chattered as she held it to her ear. Body racked with fever and cold. It had been past midnight, but she didn't let go. The line connected. There was a sudden clatter, like the phone had been dropped, followed by a sharp inhale. Then, "Hello?" she whispered. "Daddy?" "Oh my God, Flower!" His voice broke, thick with emotion. "Is that you?" "Yes," she cried softly. "I'm here. I had an accident. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a tree." "Where are you, baby? I'm coming." "I fell off State Road 441 over the side. I need the fire department." Her father sobbed. "Jesus, are you hurt?" "Yes," she said simply. "I think my wound is infected. I had a fever. My phone is dying." She wasn't choosing the short sentences. The fever had climbed into her head, thick and suffocating, turning her thoughts sluggish and fragmented. Forming words felt like work, heavy, deliberate work. And sometimes the words slipped away before she could finish them. Everything hurt, not in sharp flashes anymore, but in a constant grinding way that never let up. The pain had gone on too long without easing, wearing her down layer by layer until there was nothing left to fight with. Exhaustion pressed in from all sides, deeper than sleep, deeper than fear, and she could feel herself slipping, her body and mind both struggling to hold on. He asked questions she couldn't fully answer. She heard him calling for her mother, the frantic overlap of voices, the word 911 breaking through the haze. "Flower," he said finally, voice steady now. "Rescue is coming. Hang on and save the battery. I've got your location. We're not losing you." "I love you," she whispered. "I love you more than anything," he replied. "I will find you." The call ended. Flower pressed the phone to her chest and rested her head against the tree. Her fever surged violently, roaring through her veins, clogging her ears. The world tilted. She prayed. And then she wasn't alone. She felt hands in her hair, not rough, not hurried, gentle, familiar. Something brushed sweat from her forehead, A presence leaned in, blocking the faint starlight. She smelled earth and rain and something ancient, like leaves left too long on forest ground. "Drink, baby," her father's voice whispered. Her lips parted instinctively. A cool object touched her mouth. She pushed weakly at the hand, but it returned, patient and insistent. She drank. The liquid tasted bitter, metallic, wrong. But warmth spread instantly through her chest, flowing outwards, easing the burning in her veins. "That one was for Mom," the voice said softly. "Now another for me." She drank again. "One more," it coaxed. "For Grandma." Her eyes fluttered. She smiled faintly. "Okay, Daddy," she murmured. "Then I sleep." The presence leaned in closer. A hand, not quite a hand, rested against her cheek. She took the final sip. Darkness folded around her like wings. Then understanding settled over her, slow, heavy, undeniable. It wasn't relief, it wasn't comfort. It was a cold click of pieces locking into place. She closed her eyes again and replayed the night, carefully this time, forcing herself not to shy away from it. The way she had drifted in and out, the moment she had woken to someone close, too close. The smell first, not rot, not blood, but something coppery and warm, layered with earth and damp leaves. The taste that followed, thick, unfamiliar, clinging to her tongue no matter how hard she tried to swallow it away. And the voice. It had sounded right in the dark, gentle, steady, almost comforting, but wrong too. Too controlled, too calm for the things she had heard earlier in the night, too close, as if it didn't need to raise itself to speak, as if it belonged there. Her father hadn't been there. She knew that now. She didn't even have to test the idea. Her body rejected it outright. He wouldn't have known how to reach her, wouldn't have moved through the forest like that, wouldn't have sounded so contained. She swallowed, her throat tightening. She hadn't been given medicine. She hadn't been cured. She had been fed. Whatever it was, whatever had watched her, protected her, dragged screaming things away from beneath her tree, it hadn't brought pills or water alone. It had given her something of itself, something that burned through the fever and left her standing on the other side of it, altered in a way she couldn't yet name. Her stomach turned, not with nausea, but with awe edged in terror. A sudden crash echoed from below, metal striking rock, boots sliding through brush. Voices followed, human, loud, panicked. "Flower!" Her heart lurched violently in her chest. She sucked in a breath, gripping the branch beneath her as tears sprang to her eyes. Help was here. Real help. But as she stared down through the leaves, one thought refused to let go. Whatever had saved her had done so first. Her heart leaped again. "I'm here!" she screamed. "I'm up here, in the tree!" Firefighters, rangers, medics, dozens of them moved through the forest below, ropes and radios flashing in the morning light. As they worked, Flower looked down. The ground beneath the tree was torn apart. Branches snapped, not broken like a fall, but twisted. Deep grooves carved into bark, massive footprints pressed into the earth. far too large, far too deep to belong to any animal she recognized. One of the men frowned, staring at the ground. "What the hell did this?" he muttered. Flower said nothing. The rescuers gave her water, soup, jello, kind words. They worked quickly, voices sharp and practiced, moved efficient despite the impossible scene. Ropes were torn and anchored, metal clanged against metal as they secured the car, stabilizing it against the living sway of the tree. Chainsaw screamed, biting into the massive branch that had pinned her for so long. The vibration rattling through her body until the weight finally gave way and fell into the forest below. Hands were on her then, firm, careful, human. They eased her into a rescue basket, strapped cinched tight across her chest and legs, fingers checking and rechecking each buckle. Someone told her she was doing great. Someone else promised she was safe now. She clung to those words as the basket lifted, the ground dropping away beneath her. The helicopter rose above the canopy, wind whipping the leaves into chaos, the forest opening beneath her like a dark, endless sea. For the first time since the crash, she could see distance, horizon, escape. As the trees shrank below her, she turned her head west. The forest there was different, too still. The trees moved, not with the road awash, not with the wind tearing through the canopy, but with intention. Branches parted where no air should have reached. Shadows shifted against the grain of the light. Something tall and dark stood just beyond sight, its shape only half formed between trunks and shadow. It did not chase the helicopter. It did not retreat. It watched. Flower closed her eyes. She had been saved, but not by what the world would ever understand. Thank you for staying with me to the end of chapter 5. Come back next time for chapter 6, A Bunch of Flowers. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Bye.
These are the stories from my nightmares. Screams in the
Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.
darkness.